Uncage the beast. Semen retention. This video, I'm going to get into how you are going to change and likely already are changing as a man, as an individual. And this change is rather severe. It's not just any old change. This is a change into a man that you know nothing about. You are changing into a man that you know nothing about. And you're going to have to come to grips with this and make peace with this. And it's going to be difficult because it's going to feel as if there are two people inside of you that are butting heads a bit. And it's the old self and the new emerging self, who you are. Now, this old self, when you were giving away your energy every single day, super lustful, looking at porn, addicted since you were a teen, as most of us were. We were lost, partaking in alcohol, drugs, partying, whatever, you name it. There was a place for us in this society, this feminized society, this society that sterilizes men and makes them docile. Men that there's a fit for these men. Men that always say the right thing, never say anything to piss anybody off, constantly suppressing their emotions without even realizing it, just wanting everything to be good, and chasing after women, being super lustful with women, constantly thinking about women, idealizing women, thinking that their life has status and meaning, is defined by having a woman by their side. Forget the quality of woman that's by their side. Forget that. Forget if she's masculine and dominant and rude and disrespects him behind closed doors or even in public. Forget if she runs the relationship, if he's sort of a slave to her in the relationship, more her pet. Forget if he's had multiple failed relationships before, if he's going from relationship to relationship to relationship, if he's had failed marriages in the past. Forget all that stuff. Forget how much his life has been derailed just by pursuing women. Forget that he doesn't really have a path of his own that he's blazing, that he just goes to his sterilized job behind a desk and makes good money and thinks that he's winning. Forget all that. He thinks he has it. He thinks that he's it. The man can't say what he wants. He don't even know what he wants. He's been so conditioned and suppressed to almost not even know. I mean, what do you expect? He has no masculine energy. He don't even know. He don't even know how far gone that he is. He thinks that because he pleases all these women and they all agree with him and he can agree with them all and he's in a safe place. He feels safe in this. He feels safe in this cocoon of female approval when really it's all just female disrespect. It's lack of sexual attraction, that's all it is. But there's a fit for men like this in all of society. All of society, majority of society, oh, there's a place. Oh, there's a place. We got a place for you right here. We got to fit. Yes. What you're going to start to notice on semen retention, in conjunction with the other habits, but semen retention is like the turbo button on this. It's the accelerator. What you're going to notice is that there seems to be less of a fit as each day goes by. You're starting to see that you don't fit in this world. You don't fit in this society. You don't have a place here amongst the masses. And that can feel quite unsettling. It can throw off your equilibrium. You can feel just very off center, disoriented. You can feel very disoriented because of this. Because for the first time, you're going to have to give you your own safety. You make yourself feel safe, not all the masses around you, not all the approval around you that actually just enslaves you. No, you have to be the orientation point of your safety, of your confidence, of your well-being. And this can be a scary thing. This is no joke. This is no joke. And it's a transition. It's a slow transition. It's almost like really you never fit in that society, but they made you fit. They made you fit. They warped you in such a way, molded you in such a way. It was unnatural, but they crammed you in. They fit you in. And they fooled you for a time. But you always, even for all of our lives, right? We always felt there was something in the back of our minds that said, I fit. I'm doing this job, or I'm dating this girl, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. I feel like I'm doing the same thing as everybody else. I fit, but I don't feel like I fit. I feel like there's something off here. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. You start doing semen retention, you better get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You better get really comfortable with that quick. With being disoriented, feeling like you no longer have the place, the orientation point that you had all of your life. It can feel unsettling, like you're kind of alone. But you have, because you are such a powerful entity now, you're building up all this masculine energy within you. You have now uncaged what should have always been uncaged. And this is a man that you know nothing about. You have to get your mind around that idea. You are becoming someone that you know nothing about. And so you have to be comfortable with leaning into that, not knowing how it's going to feel. That your previous perspective of how you viewed yourself and viewed others and viewed society, what was right and what was wrong, all these things are huge in terms of how we live our lives. And if these things fundamentally shift, well, that's quite that's quite unnerving. That's quite unnerving. It's going to feel weird. You're going to have doubts at times. And again, it's this old self, this old feminine, brainwashed, docile self that's being extricated out of your system. It's being broken apart, making way for the new. but it still wants to fight. It's still screaming, hey, this new man that you're becoming, you have these old thoughts, right? You have these old thoughts and patterns of thinking, patterns of emotion. In this society today, especially in this society, we with we have sort of equated non-expression, super stoicism, non-expression at all times, no matter what's going on, no matter what's being said, no matter what's being done, with some sort of higher awareness, spiritual awareness, knowledge, wisdom, virtue, morality, a higher morality, more moral. If a man can keep his mouth shut and not express emotions, then you are seen as this is what we're made to believe, that we're seen as, that we feel like we fit more. You fit. You're not getting out of place. You're not causing any waves. You're not unsettling people. You're not creating any fire. It's a safe place. Non-expression is a very safe place. There's this saying, if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say it. But what if it's the truth? What if the truth isn't nice? What if the truth isn't nice? Nice. What if it don't sound nice? Oh, so tolerant. Oh, so accepting. Oh, so nice. What if the truth that needs to be said, that should always be said, truth should always be spoken, it should always be said, no matter if everyone around you feels like it's unpalatable, feels like it's triggering, feels like it's unsettling. And this is something that I'm coming to grips with myself. I'm starting to notice that I'm a lot more, I wouldn't say combative, but I do not shy away from confrontation and calling out BS when I see it. When I see, call it evil, call it demonic, call it manipulation, certain people acting in certain ways. I just had an incident today. So this is why I'm making this video. When I see it, whereas before, in the past, I would have, just suppress. Just, oh yeah, no, cool. Yeah. And just stewed about it inside. Just let it, I would have acted like, oh, it was all good. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I don't feel this. I'm higher than this. Anger and frustration is a lower emotion. I don't feel that stuff. I don't need to feel that stuff. But really, I was just suppressing. I had no energy. I had no will to express it. There was no power behind it. There was no power to express it. And now it's like you're a kid with fire. It's like you handed a kid just a stick that's on fire, like a torch. And the kid don't know what to do with this. He don't know nothing about fire. He might burn himself, he might burn others, he might set half the house on fire. He don't know what to do with this. He could be destructive with it. He doesn't know how to be productive with this fire. That's kind of what it's like, this transition. is you've been handed this power, this fire within you, and you're working through things. You're working through the gunk. You're working through how to harness, how to handle this new person that you're becoming. How to accept, how to feel your way through and get a feel for how this new person moves, how this energy moves, what it wants to do. You're learning. It's a learning process. It's like you're a student and you're learning how to harness this power, harness this fire, use it in the ways that it needs to be used. And yes, there might be some times along the way where you don't use it in the right way. You burn somebody accidentally. You burn yourself accidentally. But you're learning. You're learning through mistakes. And let me tell you, you should never, there's so much today that needs to be called out. We need to start calling things out. We need to start being confrontive. Not hostile, not overly angry and yelling, not losing expression of your emotion, but we need to be able to express certain emotions in a controlled way. I think that is healthy. You need to be able to bite a little bit, show some bite, show some bark. You need to be able to bark a little bit. You need to be able to bite a little bit. You shouldn't be afraid to unleash the beast. This is part of being a man. We need to get back in touch with this. You need to be good with confrontation. You need to be good with calling out the BS when you see it. Calling out lies when you see it. Not tolerating certain things from people. Not letting them get over on you. Not letting them think that you don't see what they're doing. And there are many ways to do this. You got to feel your way through it. It's a discernment thing. It's definitely a process of discernment. Like I said, a kid with fire, you're handed all this energy, you know, you're not going to be perfect with it from the jump. But it's all for the better. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel way better. You're going to feel healthier. Because you are true, you're expressing, you're getting the things out that need to be got out. All these things that you've suppressed all these years, when they mashed you and fit you into a certain box that you didn't fit in. And you were made to act in a certain way that you weren't meant to act. You were suppressed. You were deluding yourself into thinking that your lack of expression and your lack of confrontation and your lack of wanting to speak the truth, even if it upsets some people, your lack of doing that was something highly moral. You moralized that. You thought it was virtuous. And this is the trick that gets all of these men in the same position. All these feminized men, they think the same thing. What you're now going to start to realize is that wasn't moral. That wasn't the right thing to do. You were scared. You were fearful. It felt good to not disturb the waters. You didn't have the power and the energy to even disturb it anyway. If you had disturbed anything, you didn't have the power to deal with what would come back. That's a good point. I like that one. Just stumbled upon that. That's why you didn't do it. That's why these men don't do it. That's why these sterile, docile, castrated, feminized men that don't even think that they're that are deluded, That's why they act like this. That's why they are moralizing their suppression and their castration and being subservient to women and placating and all this to these dominant masculine women. That's why they do it, because they know that if they spoke out, if they said truth for 1 second, they wouldn't be able to handle what comes back on them, because they don't have the internal fortitude. They don't have the strength. They don't have the self-belief. They don't have the self-identity. They have not built a man in there to withstand it. The energy, the masculine energy to withstand all the flack that comes his way. That's part of being a masculine man, is you have to stand all the flack that comes your way. So, you're gonna have to, again, get comfortable with being uncomfortable with who you're becoming for a little bit. Have some faith that who you're becoming is for the better, that is going to do better in the world, that's going to be a positive force for good in this world, because of where you're orienting from. Even if the package don't seem on the face that it fits, that people like it. No, people are not going to like it. This whole plane is based off power. Everybody's vying for power. It's all energy and power. They're going to gaslight you into thinking that you're immoral and you're terrible and you're this and you're that, all these labels. They're trying to mess with your mind. They're trying to see if you have the internal fortitude. This is what's required. You need to have all these things thrown at you and not be gaslit, not be fooled by these things. You have to know within yourself. You have to know what's true within yourself. And this is different. This is a different way of being. This is a different way of being. It's a different way of being. You're thinking for yourself. You're saying that you're speaking the truth. You're going to notice that you might not fit into a lot of jobs. I mean, for me, my entire life, I felt like I didn't fit into most jobs, but they made me fit. They made me fit. They would squish me and make me fit, and I was miserable. And only in the last couple of years have I found jobs that were more suitable to my mannerisms, my state of being. Because I don't really have a hospitable manner to me. I'm rough. I'm gonna say it like it is. I'm in your face. I'm a server at this place, and the GM there, me and him are like close. He's super chill. He just lets me be me. That's why I've stayed at this job for as long as I have, because he lets me be me. He sees that I just need to be me. He understands it, because he himself, oh man, the things I've seen him do to customers, like you want a manager like this. You want this guy. You want this guy in your corner, because he's gonna back up whatever you say, whatever you do. You know, you have those managers that you work for, and this is a bit of a tangent, but you have those managers that you work for, and whatever you would say, the manager would come and just contradict. They wouldn't back you up. They would throw you under the bus. Awful people. This guy, nah. Like, respect. He backs me up on everything. And I have 2 jobs. I'm blessed. I'm super blessed to have 2 jobs where I can let the man go. I can actually be a man. I can actually be rough around the edges. I'm not docile. I'm not sterile. I'm not castrated. I'm not sugar-coated. I'm not suppressed like most of these men are in their corporate jobs. You're not meant there. You're not meant to fit there. And this is what you might notice. You don't feel like you fit in those places because of the man that you're becoming. You're gonna start to, it just don't match. It just don't match. The power that you have, the man that you are, just don't match that environment, that frequency, that the energy there. And so I think this video is getting pretty long, but yeah. Just don't be afraid to go where this leads you. Don't be afraid to go where this takes you. No matter where it goes, no matter where this leads, no matter where this takes you, go there. Trust. Go there. Have a little faith. Know that this thing is taking care. This energy, God, universe is taking care. All right, that's it. This video.